Hello and welcome to the very first lesson, part A, of learning the Tamil alphabet, presented to you by learntamil.com. So let's get started. The very first letter that we're going to learn, which also happens to be the first letter in the alphabet, is the letter A. And when we write this letter in English, transliteration, we're going to use the letter A. We'll start by teaching you how to write the letter. So it's done like this. And you can pause the video if you need to and practice 5 or 10 times or so. The exact sound that's made by this letter can be represented by the English words on the left hand side: what, cut, one, fun. It's basically the sound that is called in English the schwa sound. Maybe you've heard of it in school. If you look in a dictionary to learn how to pronounce a word that you don't know, this particular sound, the schwa sound, in the dictionary, at least in an English dictionary, is written as an upside down E. So for those of you who are familiar with that, that's the sound. Alright, moving along to the next letter. It's it, which is basically the t sound, the T sound that we see in the words what, cut, hit, cat, t, and it's a pretty easy letter to write. That's it. 2 lines and a dot. Next letter. It's just like the it, except we're removing the dot, and then it becomes da. So this can be approximated by the English words done, dull, or the da in the name Adam. Da. And that is just like the sound that we learned earlier. It's the English schwa sound. So da. There is one caveat though. This particular letter can have a slightly different sound, the ta sound, and we'll see that in the next slide. So we've already learned that when there's a dot over the letter, it has the T sound. T. And when the undotted letter follows it directly, then the combination of sounds is ta, ta. And it's important to realize that there are 2 T's written here, and we pronounce this first T. We don't ignore it. So as an example, I'm going to read this English word button. Normally when I speak in English I say button, and I don't really pronounce this first T. They just kind of run the 2 T sounds together. But I'm going to pronounce it as if we were writing a Tamil word using these 2 letters. Button, button. So you say the it, ta. Another thing to mention about these letters, da, it, and itta, is the tongue placement. And this is a concept that we'll refer to frequently when we're describing the letters. This is just a picture of the mouth in profile. So this is the nose, this is the upper lip here, right there. This is the lower lip. Here we have the teeth, and then this kind of whitish lavender color structure is the tongue. And you notice that this tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. The tip of the tongue is touching the roof of the mouth. Normally in English, when I make these sounds, the tip of my tongue is somewhere near the front of my mouth. But to correctly say these sounds using the right pronunciation in the Tamil language, the location of the tongue, as illustrated in this picture, is the actual correct location. So when you say these letters, the tip of your tongue should be touching the roof of your mouth. So it should be da, it, and itta. Alright, moving right along. Next letter is ma, as in money or much. Again, the is just like the English schwa sound. And the way we write this letter We start off as if we're writing da, and then we add a part. So go ahead and feel free to pause the video and practice writing this letter. As you can probably guess, if we add a dot over this letter, it becomes which we will call this im, but it's just the sound, as in the words him and am. Similar to the ita combination that we saw, we can have an umma combination. So I'm going to try to use an English word to approximate this this sound. Immaterial. Immaterial. Normally I would say immaterial, but to make you understand how these two letters are pronounced together, immaterial. Alright, so quick review of all the letters that we've learned so far. A, that's the only vowel, and then the rest are consonants. Da, it, and then this letter, if it follows the it, then it becomes ta. Ma, and then ma. Alright, so let's move the ah out of the way and start making some words. Alright, first word, we're just going to read this, and we'll use transliteration, which is representing a Tamil letter with its English equivalent or pseudo equivalent. So we'll do that for each of these letters. Alright, first letter, a. Second letter, da. Third and last letter, So what do we get? A, da, adam. Next word, first letter, ma. Second letter, it. Third letter, da, except when it follows the it, as in this combination at the end, it's the ta sound. And then the last letter, So ma, it, ta, matam, matam. Alright, next I'm going to say a word and we'll try to write it. The word is madam. Madam. So the first letter in the word, ma, which we'll write as ma here. Madam. Second letter, da. Here's the letter. And then the last letter in the word, madam. Madam is this M sound. There we go. Madam. And that ends this lesson, or at least this part of the lesson. We'll pick it up with part B of the lesson in the next installment.